Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Billy Napier, the Florida Gators land, at least in my mind, a fascinating pass-catching prospect in the 2025 cycle in TaeShaun Gelsey, three-star from Jacksonville, Florida. And why I say fascinating pass-catching prospect is 24/7 Sports has him listed as a wide receiver. I think the Florida Gators see him as a tight end at the next level. I certainly see him as a tight end at the next level, but a guy that you can do so many different things with on your offense. I mean, you can play him as an inline tight end. Once he puts on some of that weight, you can play him as an H-back, leak him out to the flat. You can play him as a jumbo slot wide receiver. There are a lot of different ways you can get him incorporated in this Florida Gators offense. And if I were to sell the Florida Gator fans on TaeShuan Gelsey, I'd probably just say take a look at Arlis Boardingham. I think they are very similar prospects coming out of high school, where you have these massive lean frames that are fluid pass catchers that you're kind of just looking at these kids and say, we're going to bet on the upside that they bring to the table. Arlis Boardingham, TaeShuan Gelsey, very similar kind of prospects. And quite frankly, I think play similar roles in this Florida Gators offense over the next couple of years. And you look at Tae'Shaun Gelsey, not only am I a fan of just the pure athlete that you're looking at, 6'4", 215 pounds, extremely comfortable going up, making plays on the football, but I also like how he fits into this tight end room, in this tight end class for Billy Napier in 2025, where 2 weeks ago, you landed Micah Jones from the state of Mississippi, who's much more of your inline mauler in the run game at the tight end position, a guy that's probably not the threat that Tae'Shaun Gelsey is as a pass catcher, but a guy that's going to be a factor in terms of Florida establishing the run game as an inline blocking tight end. And then you have Tae'Shaun Gelsey, much more of your pass catching weapon at that tight end spot. I like the fit, and I really do like the athlete of Tae'Shaun Gelsey. Before we get into the film, just want to say thank you to you guys, to the Florida Gator fans. It's going to be a fun next couple of weeks on the recruiting trail. A lot of commitments to break down. Can't thank you guys enough for rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into the film. And before we get into the film, a couple of things that at least stand out to me with Tae'Shaun Gelsey is this is a kid that has tremendous body control when he's going up and making plays on the football, specifically in the red zone. He's one of those guys that, hey, those throwing windows are non-existent in the red zone. We need guys that can go up and make plays for our quarterback. Just give Tae'Shaun Gelsey a back shoulder, and he's probably going to come down with the football. He has a basketball background, and you can tell he's a very good hooper Friday nights on the football field. Because when that football is in the air, he is comfortable getting it at its highest point, being physical at the catch point. And again, the functional athleticism, the body control in which he goes up and makes these plays, it's really impressive for a 6'4", 215-pound frame. And you look at that frame and say, this kid's lean. Like, he can comfortably get up to 230, 240 pounds for this Florida Gators offense. And kind of be that true tight end that can be a matchup nightmare, but also get it done in the run blocking department. You look at how opposing defenses are going to want to work against Tae'Shaun Gelsey. He's going to be awfully difficult for linebackers to run with up the seam. He's going to be really difficult for smaller defensive backs to deal with the physicality. These are kind of the type of bodies that you want to bet on at the tight end position. You get into the film, and you just kind of say, again, the body control, this is a guy that just throw the football up to him and let him go make a play. That basketball background really does show up, and plays a lot of just split out wide as a wide receiver. Caught for over 800 yards as a junior. Just throw the football up to. And, I mean, you look at the body control in which he can come down with that. I love it. I mean, this is a big, big body that shows a lot of athleticism and a lot of coordination and functional athleticism when he's going up to the football. I believe they ruled him out of bounds there, which is a tough call there. But again, very similar. When you're in the red zone, just throw it up to Tae'Shaun Gelsey. He's probably coming down. I love how he adjusts to the football when it's in the air. Again, he seems so comfortable, so fluid when that football is in the air and he has to go attack it at the highest point. I think he's going to be a red zone target. I think he can be a matchup nightmare for the Florida Gators. And I'm kind of intrigued in terms of how they use him, because he's a guy that get the football to him in space as well. not only is he really good at the catch point, he's a guy that when you give him the football in space, these defensive backs trying to bring down a body like TaeShuan Gelsey, it's really hard. And he's a guy that can cook in the open space as well. He is a fluid athlete, can make people miss, can deal with contact. I like the versatility in which he gives this Florida Gators offense. And you take a look at the 2025 class, I want to focus in on the pass catchers. We are getting some big targets for DJ Lagway and Will Griffin in the future, right? We talked about Joshua Moore a little bit earlier this week, one of the more physically imposing boundary wide receivers, that kind of wide receiver that we've been banging the table for the Florida Gators to go out and get. Then you look at the two tight ends, TaeShaun Gelsey and Micah Jones, just two big bodies. Micah Jones being much more of your inline road grader tight end, who's a guy that almost could play tackle with the size and athleticism that he has. And then TaeShaun Gelsey, much more of your kind of pass catching threat. At the end of the day, it's just a lot of big bodies. And we were kind of asking Florida to add some more physicality in the pass catching room. And if you can couple these big bodies like Joshua Moore and Micah Jones, and then you land a guy like five-star wide receiver Vernell Brown, that is a phenomenal pass catching unit in this 2025 class. And again, you have the quarterbacks to really start building an elite passing attack, right? DJ Lagway, with the amount of weapons that he's going to have at his disposal over the next couple of years, I love the construction of the pass catcher class in 2025, right? You have some big bodies that can be physical at the catch point, and then you're going to have some guys, if you can land Vernell Brown, who I'll just make the comp. Like, he kind of reminds you of Eugene Wilson coming out in terms of the pure electricity that he has when he has the football in space. I like what Billy Napier's doing in terms of building this 2025 class, and it's not necessarily star chasing, but it's more of an emphasis and focus on, hey, how can we build a very diverse set of pass catchers in this 2025 class? You wrap up Vernell Brown. I really like where this Florida team is, or what this Florida team is in terms of doing with their pass catcher room. We'll cut it there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Again, if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to y'all later.